I am your father.
Greetings, Star Wars enthusiasts and fellow Force-sensitive individuals. Today we plunge deep into the vast and exciting galaxy that's oh so far away to reveal the secrets of Darth Vader, one of history's most iconic villains. However, today we shall wander beyond his lightsaber proficiency and heavy breathing. Instead, we'll dive into an in-depth exploration of his family lineage. We all know that Darth Vader did not begin as Sith Lord, nor did he materialize out of thin air with a red lightsaber in hand. He had family ties and his roots deeply entwined in the Star Wars lore. In this video, we shall trace the lineage of Anakin Skywalker, also known as Darth Vader, to reveal some startling connections that could potentially alter your perception of the Skywalker family. So seat yourself in a comfortable chair, arm yourself with a lightsaber, and prepare to walk through the Skywalker family tree. Our video promises an exhilarating experience chock full of the power of the Force. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Shme Skywalker Lars, mother. Alright folks, let's talk about Shme Skywalker Lars, the unsung hero of the Star Wars saga. She was just your regular gal living the slave life on Tatooine during the good old Galactic Republic days. Shme, played by the talented Pernilla August, had a pretty extraordinary story. So here's the deal. She gave birth to the one and only Anakin Skywalker, and get this, there was no dad in the picture. It's like a Jedi miracle or something. Many believed Anakin's birth was thanks to those mysterious midi-chlorians. And Shme? She was a gem of a person. Peaceful, selfless, and super loving towards Anakin. She'd do anything for her kid, even if it meant sacrificing her own happiness. When Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn rolled into town and saw Anakin's Force potential, Shme was all in for letting her boy join the Jedi ranks. Talk about a supportive mom. She eventually married a guy named Klieg Lars, who won her in a bet. But life took a dark turn when she got abducted and tortured during the Separatist crisis. Anakin rushed back to see her one last time and, well, she didn't make it. She died in his arms, and it was all kinds of heartbreaking. Shme's death hit Anakin hard. He couldn't stand losing loved ones, and that's what ultimately pushed him to the dark side, making him Darth Vader. But we shouldn't forget the lady who started it all, Shme Skywalker Lars. She was the real MVP of Anakin's life.
I truly, deeply love you.
Padme Amidala, wife. Padme Amidala was a queen-turned-senator from Naboo in the Star Wars saga. She's one of those political idealists who stood up for democracy and tried to keep the peace during the Clone Wars. You might remember her as the gal played by Natalie Portman. Or if you're a fan of the animated side of Star Wars, Catherine Tabor lent her voice to the Clone Wars. Padme's roots are pretty humble, raised by her parents on Naboo. But even from a young age, she had this knack for public service. She eventually became a queen, taking the fancy name Amidala. And boy, did she have her hands full. The Trade Federation attempted to assassinate her, but Anakin Skywalker, then a Jedi in training, protected her ferociously. In the realm of love, Jedis are advised against cultivating any sort of intimate relationship. However, as we all know by now, rules and emotions do not always align. Despite the stringent regulations imposed on them by the Order, the two fell for each other almost immediately, and even went so far as secretly getting married. Padme soon discovered she bore life within her. She was pregnant. Fearing the impending loss of his beloved wife, Anakin embarked on a one-man journey to the dark side under the illusion that it would ensure her safety. However, his actions ultimately yielded disastrous results. Their confrontation on Mustafar turned ugly, and she eventually died after giving birth to Luke and Leia. With her last breath, she insisted there was still some good left in her husband, Anakin, who was going all Darth Vader on everyone. so she played a massive part in the redemption story of the galaxy. Thus, Padme Amidala was a true force for change in more ways than one. Luke Skywalker, Son. Let's talk about the man, the myth, the Jedi legend, Luke Skywalker. You probably know him best as the guy played by Mark Hamill in the Star Wars saga. Now, Luke had quite the family tree. His dad was Anakin Skywalker, the future Darth Vader, and his mom was Senator Padme Amidala, born alongside his twin sister Leia in 19 BBY. Luke had a pretty rocky start because of all that dark side drama. He grew up on the desert planet Tatooine, dreaming of bigger things and itching for adventure. But man, he was reckless, just like his old man. Yet, deep down, he had this solid moral compass and a crazy urge to help others, no matter how risky it got. His journey kicked off when he hitched up with the Rebel Alliance and got some Jedi training from the wise Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, Obi-Wan was also Anakin's first mentor. Full circle stuff, right? Luke's quest to become a Jedi Knight led him to Yoda, the little green master. But the real twist in this saga came when he duked it out with Darth Vader himself, only to find out Vader was his dear old dad. Crazy, right? And with Luke's help, Vader turned back to the light side, ending the Emperor in the process. After that showdown, Luke wandered around the galaxy, trying to rebuild the Jedi Order. He had one more epic moment when the First Order reared its ugly head, but he ultimately passed away into the Force. But hey, the legend lives on, and he made sure the Jedi Order wouldn't die with him. Luke Skywalker was truly a Jedi who just couldn't stay out of the action. Leia Skywalker Organa Solo, daughter. Let's talk about Leia Skywalker Organa Solo, the ultimate Star Wars lady. You know her as the fearless princess and politician played by the amazing Carrie Fisher. Leia's story kicks off in 19 BBY when she's born as Leia Amidala Skywalker, the daughter of Anakin Skywalker and Padme Amidala. But with all that dark side stuff going on, she and her twin brother Luke were separated to keep them safe from the Emperor. Leia wasn't about to call Vader her dad, no way. So she was raised as the daughter of Senator Bail Prester Organa and Queen Breha Organa of Alderaan. She's basically Alderaan royalty and carries all the values about democracy and fighting against dictators. Things got dicey when she got kidnapped by the Inquisitorius. Thankfully, Obi-Wan Kenobi, who fought alongside her adoptive dad in the Clone Wars, swoops in to save her. He describes her as fierce, kind-hearted, and passionate, a real chip off the old block of both her birth parents. Later, she steps up as the face of the Rebel Alliance after Alderaan bit the dust, and she even marries that lovable rogue, Han Solo. She's also secretly dabbling in the Jedi arts under Luke's wing, but she's got some major Vader fears about going all Sithy. Her journey gets super intense when her son, Ben, takes a dark turn as Kylo Ren, just like Grandpa Vader. Leia's health takes a hit, but she doesn't give up, reaching out to her son to bring him back from the dark side. Her legacy lives on through Ruy Skywalker and Ben Solo, her only kid, who finds his way back to the light. Leia was the ultimate Star Wars mom and rebel leader. Han Solo, son-in-law. Let's talk about the one and only Han Solo, the galaxy's favorite smuggler and hero. You know that charming guy played by Harrison Ford? Han's life was a wild ride. He started as a regular guy from Corellia, but things got spicy when he got the name Solo during some Imperial recruitment deal. When he chartered a ride for Luke and Obi-Wan to Alderaan, the trajectory of his life dramatically shifted. Initially viewing him as an annoyance, Luke Skywalker failed to warm up to him at first. But this was merely the beginning of their solid and long-lasting friendship. Following his assistance in Princess Leia's escape from the Death Star, he plunges himself fully into the rebellion against the Empire. But love was in the air and he fell hard for Leia. But Darth Vader pulled a sneaky on him and he ended up frozen in carbonite. Talk about a cold spell. Thankfully, his pals rescued him from that icy prison. Han went on to lead the Pathfinders, a special forces crew, and they played a crucial role in destroying the second Death Star. And yeah, he and Leia tied the knot, though they kind of did their own thing because of their different interests. Their son, Ben, struggled with the dark side of the Force, just like his grandpa Darth Vader. It tore Han and Leia apart when Ben turned into Kylo Ren. Han even went back to smuggling and they separated. But Han's heroic spirit lived on. He came back into the fight, reconciled with Leia, and even tried to bring his son back. In a monumental showdown, he confronted Kylo Ren and attempted to persuade him to return home. Tragically, however, their interaction didn't end well. Han Solo died from Kylo Ren's hand. Han's demise profoundly impacted Leia. It also marked a pivotal moment in the tumultuous life of his son. Even in the darkest times, a glimmer of hope always remains. This was demonstrated by Ben Solo's redemption, a process greatly influenced by Han's powerful memory and spirit. The legendary Han Solo epitomized remarkable resilience and was a true icon across galaxies. Ben Solo, grandson. Let's dive into the roller coaster story of Ben Solo, also known as Kylo Ren, the guy played by Adam Driver. Now, Ben comes from some serious Star Wars royalty. His parents were Han Solo and Princess Leia Organa, and his uncle was none other than Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. From the get-go, Ben had this intense Force potential, and he was a lot like his granddad, Darth Vader. But that wasn't exactly a compliment in his parents' book, given Vader's dark side history. The trouble was that shady guy named Darth Sidious had his eye on Ben, trying to turn him to the dark side from a young age. Ben joined the Jedi Order under Uncle Luke's guidance and quickly became the Jedi prodigy of his generation. But things went south when he had a huge falling out with his uncle, destroyed the Jedi Temple, and went full dark side. As Kylo Ren, he even bumped off his fellow Jedi students. He led the Knights of Ren, sort of like a dark side boy band, and he was all about power and control, just like his grandpa Vader. Kylo was a complex mix of light and dark, and he had big plans to wipe out the Jedi and rule the galaxy. But deep down, he couldn't shake his family connection. He tried to cut ties with his past by killing his dad, Han Solo. But it messed with his head big time. Things got even crazier when he formed a unique Force bond with Rey and thought she tried to bring him back to the light side. Meanwhile, he was doing his best to surpass Darth Sidious and ascend the throne as the new Emperor. Ultimately, an otherworldly interaction with his mother Leia began his liberation from the dark side. He allied himself with Rey for an intense battle against Darth Sidious. However, this victory came at a high price. It claimed Rey's life. Ben, mirroring Darth Vader's redeeming act of sacrifice, gave himself up to bring back Rey and ascended into oneness with the Force. Throughout his journey, Ben walked the path leading back to light, even amidst popular belief that he had strayed too far. For this was his ultimate purpose. His is a true Skywalker tale of redemption and love. Ruy Neber, father-in-law. Let's talk about Ruy Neber, the dad of the one and only Padme Amidala. You might remember him being portrayed by Graham Blundell. Ruy was one of those folks who could charm the pants off influential people. He had a knack for making friends in high places, although he wasn't really one to milk those connections. That's something Padme, his daughter, really admired in him, but he did have plenty of contacts off-world, which came in handy. Even though his daughter Padme went on to become queen and a senator for Naboo, Ruy had kind of left the political game behind, except if some significant cause dragged him back in. Now, when Padme was eyeing the throne, Ruy wasn't too keen on the idea. His sole joy rested in his daughter's happiness and her service to their planet, free of any political entanglements. He knew the role of a queen would bring Padme joy. However, he wished it did not come with any other burdensome responsibilities. Demonstrating his love for his daughter was very important to him, so he prioritized grounding her dreams in realism and practicality. And that's Ruy Neber, a dad who just wanted the best for his daughter, even if it meant a few friendly political chats along the way. Jobal Neber, mother-in-law. Let's chat about Jobal Neber, the mom of Padme Amidala and the lady brought to life on screen by Trisha Noble. Jobal was a classy lady from Naboo, and she raised Padme, who later became queen and senator. She had a successful and well-liked daughter who served some good terms in the Galactic Senate. Padme had plans to retire, but she got asked to stick around by her successor. Jobal got the news about it from Padme on the same day she made her decision. But before the Clone Wars went down, Padme and Anakin Skywalker paid Jobal and her hubby Ruy a visit. That must have been one fun family catch-up session for sure. Fast forward to 19 BBY, and Jobal and Ruy showed up at Padme's funeral in Palace Massa. Jobal was all dressed in black, reflecting the family's sorrow and mourning. It was a tough time for the Neber family. Jobal Neber was truly a mom who saw her daughter rise to the top and stood by her even in the toughest of times. Marvelous verdict. And there you have it, folks, the twisted and dramatic family tree of the one and only Darth Vader. We've unraveled the saga of Anakin Skywalker, from his mother Shme on Tatooine to his secret wife Padme Amidala. And don't forget his epic showdown with his own son, Luke Skywalker, the legendary Jedi. But the story doesn't stop there. It continues with Luke's twin sister Leia and even their complicated family history. Observing the sequence of events that led to Ben Solo's ascent and subsequent downfall as Kylo Ren, we then witness his triumphant return to the light side. Most importantly, Vader's bloodline serves to underscore that despite being set in a galaxy far from our own, the importance of family bonds and redemption is never-ending. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Skywalker family tree, a true tale of love and sacrifice, and enduring hope for good to conquer evil. May the Force be with you always. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.